B, which as being the refurbishment option. Option B is really the option that says let's look at the issue a little longer and develop the two options to an equivalent standard, so that when we go to the public in the public engagement process, they'll be fully aware of the two choices.
And if so choose, in option B, to improve the bridge deck and to provide a separate pedestrian and cycling vestibule, which we have numbers, but those numbers again should be updated to reflect the timelines in which council wishes to choose, so that we provide the appropriate construction escalation and interest rate changes associated with it.
Full bridge closure, it talks about full bridge closure. Of course, there's actually two bridges, so I guess I take a little bit of exception to the idea that I'm assuming that you wouldn't remove both spans at once, or is that
Your Worship, just a clarification, the scenario with the 35 million that has been identified to date as part of the rehabilitation project is based on scenario 2, which would be the night closures that were prepared by the NMF group.
this issue of the Bay Street Bridge and the Johnson Street Bridge, and how the Bay Street Bridge was upgraded to, I guess the category would be on the little table, it would be in the category other, no collapse and a 6.5 earthquake. And what is suggested here is that we should go to the category lifeline for this bridge, which is no collapse in the 8.5. Well, wouldn't it make more sense to put that same money into, or might it make more sense, I don't know, into the Bay Street Bridge? I mean, presumably, in the 8.5 event, the Johnson Street Bridge is still a lifeline, it's still usable. The Bay Street Bridge falls into the water, and along with everybody who's on it. Would it not make more sense to look at both bridges and say, should we put money in both bridges so that both come to the intermediate standard?
Safety work only that has some sort of return to the to ICBC in reducing the claims costs, and that would likely only apply to the replacement option because it's proposing to straighten up the S-curve a little bit, and would that be a correct assumption of where we might get with ICBC money?
Through the mayor, yes. The ICBC Road Improvement Program expects a return of investment over 2 years in terms of
into any project, but there has to be a green element to that, which would, I believe, again, only support likely the replacement option or the separate basket for the bicycle and pedestrian facilities.
Through the mayor, yes, that is correct. It would be targeted in all likelihood to the multi-use trail portion of the crossing.
Okay. I was convinced of the need for a new bridge, and the new information hasn't really changed that in the future. There are simply no strategies and no fixes available that will divert its use from supporting primarily cars and trucks. I know we heard during the counter-petition campaign that a bucket of cement and a can of paint would fix everything we need to fix for cyclists and pedestrians, and that's just not credible. We have some examples from elsewhere that were suggested are applicable to our bridge, and they are not. The bridges that have been rehabilitated in Portland are quite different from our bridge, and you can't do to our bridge what was done to some of those bridge-wide. Reducing the number of lanes will not work. One of the things that we have to recognize is that people will choose to drive, and we have to support that choice. And closing down the second lane outbound simply won't work with the traffic volumes we have on there today, or the traffic volumes we project will be needed to be accommodated on the bridge over the coming decades. So theoretically, we've been told that we're going to save money by not doing the seismic upgrade. We've lost half of those savings already because we've pushed the project back. So I'm just wondering, as we move forward, what else people are willing to sacrifice in order to theoretically contain cost. And I'm concerned that one of them will be that let's just save the bridge and dispense with the extra work we need to do for the bicycle and pedestrian bridges. And I'm not going.
Whether or not your position is that you want the bridge replaced or refurbished, you have to examine both options in order to come to the right conclusion. And there's certainly there is a significant price tag attached to that, but as has been pointed out, this is looking at both options. It's not simply the cost associated with the refurbishment option. We talk about needing to compare them. The only way that you can compare them is if you're getting the same feature on each structure. And so when it comes to seismic performance, my expectation was replacement or refurbishment would give us the same level of seismic performance. Which level it is, we may have to make a choice on, but I want it to be the same standard about the changing the terms of reference of the Community Advisory Committee. I think we've already had some discussion around our table. I had raised the question about whether or not with that advisory committee, if we could have their deliberations and their minutes.
I am uncomfortable with the cost of option B, and I'd be looking for some cost savings there where we can find them. If this is an opportunity to catch up, then I wonder if we might be able to look at it and as a council a bit more detail of some of that $840,000 to see where there might be some savings for residents and for the city. My feeling is that if we're really comparing apples to apples, then the only thing that would significantly impact the change of direction that this project's gone on so far would be findings that the refurbishment option would be either far more expensive than we currently anticipated or that our current information suggests, or that it'd be far more affordable. In other words, those are the two options that might sway some both the minds of some residents as well as some minds here at the table. And so
we talked earlier about trying to get 50-cent dollars as opposed to 53-cent dollars. Perhaps that's one of the opportunities to have that discussion. But also, it opens up a door, I think, to the provincial government to say we are quite properly recognizing specific standards based on seismic realities. And
the City Council is always trying to move and make decisions to save money in the long run. I've certainly heard that they wanted more information and a direct referendum. That's what we're committed to, fundamentally. We're committed from hearing from the residents. And our job, I believe, is to give as much information as we can to ensure that the residents, when they go into a referendum, that they feel like they have enough information to make the decision that they are comfortable with moving forward and including within option B the economic impact study, the engagement process, and the peer review. Sorry, Councillor Young. Would you like to separate those?
I would repeat the cautions that have been said before. If we're going to do economic impact study, that has to be predicated on detailed information about the closures. I mean, whether you're going to remove one or both spans or not, that's clearly what